the Watchdog on Wall Street podcast, explaining the news coming out of the complex worlds of finance, economics, and politics, and the impact it will have on everyday Americans. Author, investment banker, consumer advocate, analyst, and trader, Chris Markowski.
All right. I'm getting a nice response from all of my terrestrial radio listeners that are moving over and listening to us now on the podcast Monday through Friday. I do appreciate that, but I get a little bit of criticism. Yesterday I did, come to think of it, I did a lot of sub-referencing yesterday to movies, but I guess not as much as I do on the terrestrial show, and in particular the weekend program, which is available to everyone as well on the podcast. But anyway, I want to start off talking about horror movies. I'm not a big fan of horror movies. Just not. A couple. I mean, I like the ones that are kind of, I guess, can kind of twist and turn to some degree, if you want to call. It's not really a horror movie. The Sixth Sense, Bruce Willis. Recently, I saw one last year. It was excellent. It's a low-budget movie called Hereditary, which was really kind of creepy. Of course, The Exorcist. Stuff that you believe could actually happen. Actually, to me, ended up being much more frightening than anything else. Last night it was pouring rain. Lacrosse practice canceled. I had a long day. Was doing a lot of traveling yesterday. Spent about 6 hours in the car. I just wanted to sit down and relax and watch a little TV. I didn't feel like reading. My eyes were kind of tired. I just did not feel like reading. So, what am I going to watch? And there's just, like usual, nothing on TV. Watched a little bit of the basketball game, and basketball doesn't do it for me anymore. Way too many rules that I don't understand. I said, I'm going to watch that show Chernobyl on HBO. So I started. Now, mind you, I get up in the morning at 4. I didn't get to bed last night. I couldn't stop watching it. There's like 4 episodes on. I got through 2.5, and I went to bed. It was 12:30 at night, way past my bedtime, because I couldn't stop watching it. It is one of the most compelling programs I've seen in some time. And a true horror story. And I say, that's a horror story. It's history. Yeah, I know it's history, but I think many of us really don't understand what really went on there and how frightening it is. But I saw it for a different type of horror. I saw the horror of the socialists, the communists, big government. And I see the horrors in what could eventually become us, our future. Amazing to watch how big government and bureaucracies, how they circle the wagons to protect the state. Use that phrase, the state. I've mentioned that before in the program. They used to creep me out when I was a kid. I work for the state. That was a popular thing, to get a job at the state growing up in Albany, New York. I work for the state. And that was when I was a kid. Today, take a look at the state. How much bigger is the state? How much more power the state has? I was married in 2000. You want to see? It doesn't seem that long ago. It really doesn't. I'm looking at it now. I'm like, holy shnikey, it's going to be almost 20. I mean, time flies. But it's really not that long ago. And I can go back and I can take a look, and Bill Clinton was president. Take a look at the size of government back then and compare it to today. And there is no comparison. And how big it's become. And how much power we have given to the elites. Hey, you watch the movie Chernobyl. It really isn't any different than what we have going on today. I call it my watchdog on Wall Street axis of evil. big business, politicians, media. Same thing in the Soviet Union. You have an elite ruling class, and then you have us, the deplorables, the heroes. And you watch the show Chernobyl, you take a look, and these people, many of them knew that they were going to die. They knew what was going to happen. And they did it. Much like we deplorables do. You watch what's taking place today. You watch the elites circle the wagons to protect themselves on both the left and right, to go after the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Doesn't belong. It's not one of them. Dangerous as far as they're concerned. You see it as far as the media coverage is concerned, the way they spin stories. And hey, listen, people, I'm not, like I said, I don't have a short skirt and pom-poms, and I'm not a cheerleader for the president. But I'm sorry. Your head's not on straight, okay? You're a cult member if you think that what's been going on and the coverage has been fair. It's downright nonsensical. It really is. And take a look at the damage that's being done to the country. 100,000 people a month coming across the border. Month after month after month. Do you have any idea how much that's going to cost us? Doesn't matter. It's good for the elites. You understand? It's fine for them. It's fine for them. Because all they need to do is they just need to take more money out of our pockets. They start handing it out, transferring wealth here, getting more people dependent upon them. They become more powerful. Doesn't matter what happens. Like I said, there's no downside. They have no skin in the game. None. We're not that far off, people. I know people might say, are you kidding me? Soviet Union, United States. Really? Watch the movie. I dare you. Watch the movie with eyes wide open. With eyes wide open. And you'll see. Look at things a little bit differently. Don't look at it from just the environmental disaster. Look at it as far as the state, the people in power. Compare and contrast to what's happening today here in this country. You do it that way, guess what? You're going to see it as a horror movie too. Bottom line is this. Elites, the wizards of smart, the people that you see on TV that tell you how to live your lives, they have always throughout history managed somehow, some way. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the frickin' system is. Doesn't matter what the ideals are. Slowly but surely infect like a disease to rise above all men are created equal. Doesn't make any difference. They get themselves in there. Once they get in there, they form their little neo-aristocracy. Oh, no. We might not have kings and queens and blood ties and all that good stuff. Might not have that nowadays. No. We have what? We've got the Ivy League. Right? We've got secret societies. We've got intelligence agencies, international banks, banking cartels, too big to fail, media conglomerates, the boards of directors at myriads of different companies. I sit on your board, you sit on my board, I vote you in, you vote me in, get my buddy in. What's the difference? You tell me really, what is the difference between the Politburo in China or the Politburo under Gorbachev and Russia and Congress? What's the difference? None, really, as far as I can see. I'm going to read to you something written by a former U.S. paratrooper. I happen to read his blog. In America today, here is a complete symbiosis between the organs of information, the mainstream media, and the political parties and their apparatchiks. And it is used solely for the control of the populations and the promotion of the narrative. The narrative. Again, we talk about this all the time. They do that rather than as a means of explaining the actual events of the day. I'll get into the a little bit. I'll kind of give you an example right now. I talk about the tariffs that were put on Mexico. And you watch the various different people line up, and this is our narrative. I'm on this team. I'm not going to explain this properly. My job is to go on and back this side, utilize talking points. They're not there to really explain what's going on. This is no different, really. How different is what you read or what you see in these various different publications? How is it any different than Pravda? The Soviet news organization, Pravda, which is truth, means truth in Russian. They were able to control information to such a degree that the people of the USSR joke that there is no truth in Pravda and no news in Izvestia. Izvestia means news. The current state of media in America is summed up, and it's the same. Fake news. People here in this country are becoming more and more aware, and I'm happy. I'm glad. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't. But people are becoming more and more aware that they're being lied to. Being lied to. The reality is that they don't know what to do about it. They don't. I don't know if more and more people just might not go to the polls anymore, not say, my vote's not worth anything. I shouldn't do that. I don't know. I've given I've given ideas here on the program, things that could be done. Again, just cut off the political parties. Don't vote for candidates that have been around. Time for you to go, buddy. Say it that way. Cut off their funding as best you possibly can. Even though, again, they're walking around money. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know. I don't know. One thing about the three candidates I supported in 2016 that I liked was Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, and Donald Trump. Those are the only three that I could have voted for. Only three that I could have voted for. Outside the box, different. With that being said, are they any of them without flaws? No. But at some point in time, we have to start taking a step in the right direction, or we're going to go the way of the USSR too. All right. Uber in the news, first quarterly report as a public company. It's about 3 weeks since it went public. Lost what? $1 billion. Yeah, Uber's loss from operations was $1.03 billion, which is much bigger than the $478 million that it lost a year earlier. Sales and marketing costs jumped 54%, driven by consumer promotions as well as advertising and marketing headcount. I don't get that. I mean, I think that probably the sales promotions has to do with subsidizing rides from point A to point B. You lost $478 million last year. You lost $1 billion this year. Yeah, your revenues continued to grow, but your revenue growth continues to shrink. How the blank is it possible for you to make money? It's not. The people who are going to make money on Uber, like I said before, are the elites, the aristocracy. They set it up that way. Everything that's been going on in Silicon Valley, folks, is a way to get the elites really frickin' rich. Now, you have a choice. You can tell them to go blank themselves, which I choose to do, by not participating in these stupid IPOs. They're just selling their stock to you. You know what you can do too? And as I said, everybody out there is like, what do I do? What do I do? How can I make change? You can be an agent of change. You decide where you're going to spend your money. Am I wrong here? You got that story now. It's making news. All these companies now and media companies wanting to pull out of Georgia because of their abortion heartbeat bill. The funny one there is Disney's now saying they're pulling out. Disney has no problem at all. No problem at all doing business and working hand in hand with China, where they have concentration camps set up where they take all of their Uyghur Muslims and go and torture them. They have no problem dealing with that. But Georgia, they got a problem with. They got no problem doing business and these various different Middle Eastern countries. No problem. No big deal at all. Oh, no, we can do business in these places where female genital mutilation is okay, but Georgia, no. But anyway, that's their choice. That's their choice. You make choices every single day. They talk about voting, right? I just mentioned voting. You know what? You vote every day. You decide where you're going to spend money. I am particular about where I spend my money. I work hard for my money. I do. I work hard for it. And I'm very particular about where it's going to go. I mean, shouldn't that be the same case for you too? I said that about years ago. I mean, this is going back to the .com era. I said, you're not going to get any change. Elliot Spitzer's a joke. These big firms aren't going to do anything different. The only way you're going to do anything to force any change is you do it with your wallet. You decide where you're going to go about spending money. You decide. It's up to you. You don't have to go. Like I said, you got a crappy, I explained it in terms of a restaurant. If there's a crappy restaurant in your town that's got horrible service, is dirty, and the food is terrible, yet you keep going back to it and everybody keeps going back to that establishment, is it going to go out of business? No. No. You force change based upon where you spend your money. Anyway, talk a little bit about this Trump tariff with Mexico thing. And I'm trying to get my arms around it too. I am. I like I said, I don't have the answers right now. I know we're trying to get through Congress that new NAFTA deal, the USMCA. And I don't see how this is going to help matters with that. This announcement right now said Donald Trump said he's going to put a 5% tariff on all Mexican imports effective June 10th. This is to pressure Mexico to crack down on the surge of Central American migrants trying to cross the border. He said the percentage is going to increase up to 25% until the illegal immigration problem is remedied. What the hell is Mexico going to do? Honestly. Especially that area of Mexico. You think that the president of Mexico's got some sort of control over the troops in that area, those areas. Are you out of your mind? Those areas are narco states, for crying out loud. And they're narco states. Why? Why are they narco states? They're narco states because we do drugs in this country. Yeah, I tick people off when I say this. We will blame Mexico for the drugs coming across the border. You know who you blame? You blame us. We're the ones doing the frickin' drugs. Period, the end. Why are drugs coming across our border? Because we're taking them. Period. That's why. We're taking the drugs. That's why they're coming over here. There was a great advertisement. This is, again, going back over 10 years ago. I thought it was one of the best anti-drug advertisements ever. And it went away fast because it offended people. It did. It got people upset. The advertisement was basically talking about if you do drugs, can't remember exactly how it went. You're doing drugs, you are supporting terrorists. And it's true. That was basically, like I said, but 10 years ago, 2007, 2008, maybe even a little bit earlier. Yeah. Money you spend, you're doing heroin, it's going to terrorists. Is it not? That those drugs moving out of Afghanistan, that heroin, that's where it's coming from, right? That same Afghanistan where we've had troops there since 2001 and still can't manage to, use a little leftover napalm from Vietnam and torch the fields. Amazing how that can't be done. Gee, could it be that the elites and the people in power are making money off the drugs? Oh, no, of course not. Come on. Are we all that stupid, really? Honestly, are we really that dumb? You know how much money is in this stuff? You have any idea? You've seen with the El Chapo trial, them bearing all the money. They don't even know what to do with it. Those are the wealthiest people in the world. They have cash, unlimited amounts. Why? Because we keep doing drugs. And you think that Mexico is going to be able to get control of that border? Right. Sure. That's not going to happen. Anyway, I don't know if this is just Trump bluster, but I look at it as mission impossible. Hey, we can't control our own damn border. We can't. Look at our laws. I mean, we're a joke. I went over this here last week. Or was it this week? I can't remember exactly. I explained to you how it works. Point by point. You want to know how it works? Hello, I am an illegal immigrant. Oh, I want asylum. I don't feel safe back in Honduras or El Salvador or Guatemala or Mexico. I don't feel safe. I want asylum. I come to the border, run to the border, climb the fence, go under the fence, and then look for the friendly neighborhood border patrol agent. Turn myself in. I am then let go. I am told that I have to show up for a court date. And you know what? I show up for the court date. And all it is a preliminary hearing. And they tell me to come back in a year. Meanwhile, I'm able to work. I get working papers, can do what I want in the United States. Away I go. Do I show up a year later? Well, for argument's sake, I show up. And I lose my asylum hearing. Oh, no, I lost. But wait, it's okay. Guess what? I'm going to appeal it. You know what my next court date is? 2 years. 2 years from now, I'm told to show up again. And let's say again, for argument's sake, that I show up. And I lose again, and I have been ordered to go back. You gonna make me? Nope. No, they're not gonna make you. They're not gonna escort you out. ICE agents aren't gonna show you to the door. No, you have to self-deport at that point in time. Meaning, you're not going anywhere. You've already been in the country for well over 3 years. Probably have a job. You're all set. You're not going anywhere. And you're not going to be deported unless you commit some sort of serious crime. That's it. That's our system. And to be honest, I'd say it right to Donald Trump's face. You think your tariffs are going to stop that on Mexico? I don't see the logic behind it. What I see is that we've got nothing. We have an establishment class in Washington, D.C. that doesn't want to do a damn thing about it. Period. The end. I'm going to talk a little quickly about this. This pissed me the hell off. German Chancellor Angela Merkel went after Donald Trump's worldview in a speech at Harvard. More than ever, our way of thinking and actions have to be multilateral rather than unilateral. She was addressing Harvard as she seeks to halt a deterioration in the transatlantic alliance under Trump's presidency. Yeah, Trump, in contrast, the Air Force Academy gave his America First doctrine. Again, hey, Engel, I tell you what, pay your frickin' bills. I'd say it right to her face. I said, you're a mooch, okay? You're a mooch. Your military is useless. You don't pay what you're supposed to pay, and you expect us to foot the bill. So basically, I look at it as, hey, Angela Merkel, the mooch. That's all you're doing? Hey, you're that person, and every single time you got a group of people going out to dinner, the bill comes, all of a sudden, you've gone missing. I give you Germany, transatlantic alliance. Pay your bill, for crying out loud. Why should we continue to foot it? Anyway, buddy, have a wonderful weekend. I want to remind everybody quickly, again, over 250 stations around the country, Watchdog on Wall Street, my terrestrial radio show that I've been doing for over 20 years. I'll have it posted up here as well as podcast also. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com is our site, WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. Newsletter, consultations with our certified financial planners, all sorts of great stuff. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. Again, 800-471-5984, 24-hour day help hotline. Take advantage of all the great stuff we have. God bless.